The galaxy is burning. Brother fights brother, and treason splits the Imperium of man. This is the Age of Darkness. Welcome to the Remembrancers retreat, coming to you from within the depths of the Vengeful Spirit.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Remembrancers Retreat, a Warhammer 30k Horus Heresy podcast. My name is Jesse. I'm here today with Jason and Jared, and we also have Will online.
Hello, everyone.
So this week has been just another explosion of Horus Heresy articles as we get closer and closer to the launch of Horus Heresy Age of Darkness 2.0.
Yes, it's just now within sight. We're so close to it. Yeah. I was definitely wondering if things were going to go on pre-order today. Just being overly optimistic, you know what I mean? But
surprise!
I'm glad I didn't mention it out loud, because I feel like if I'd have mentioned it out loud, then I would have definitely looked like a fool.
Glad we didn't do that.
Yeah.
So last week, Will and I had talked through the reveals of the Legion snapshots, starting with Dark Angels, working our way through the Emperor's Children and the Iron Warriors, and also talked about the Heresy Thursday showing of the new Plastic Sicaran, which is pretty awesome. And then we're starting from the stuff from last Friday, and we're starting with the White Scars, working our way through the Space Wolves, the Imperial Fists, the Night Lords, the Blood Angels, the Iron Hands, and we'll see what else we can talk about.
Buckle up, folks. It's going to be a 4-hour podcast.
That's so many more than I thought there was.
I know.
Can you list them all out like that?
Yeah. It's one a day is it's something.
So
I think the guy writing them is going to run out of bad puns in like 3 or 4 legions.
Right? It's like an episode of Bob's Burgers.
Beautiful.
It's like the amount of puns that go into each individual episode. It's just, they must get them wholesale.
But starting out, let's talk about the White Scars.
Yeah, let's jump in, because, like we said, we really don't want this to take 4 hours. But I do want to start off with the White Scars and what is it? Henry Steele? Or I guess what is this? Henry Steele Jagged Icon painted by Andy Wardle. Cult of Paint. Mm-hmm. These are really good.
I love that dude. He has like the most relaxing voice to listen to on like his YouTube paint stuff. Absolute delight.
I don't know anything about him, but I really like the Tetsubo he stuck on one of the Praetors here. That's pretty badass. I can't identify the bit. It looks like one of the Ogren mallets. Maybe? Yeah.
It almost looks like one of the Raven.
The
Raven. Or
it's from the Raven Wing dudes, right?
Yeah, the Raven Wing Command Squad.
Oh,
yeah.
Come with a little,
the same one that has that little Corvus hammer,
little boop stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good conversion. I like that.
Good use of bits.
Yeah,
and it's not another katana.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I like. It's a weapon that's still within the theme and culture of the Scars that is generally not presented. And I mean, those are still going to be incredibly deadly in the 30th millennium. I mean, they're already deadly in Common Era against steel armor. Yeah. But now you put an energy field through it, and it's just going to be even more devastating. So
right.
I like it. It's a great concept.
With like an 800-pound spaceman swinging it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just all bulked up.
Yeah, you just swing an entire tank in half with that.
Mm-hmm. So as we go through the article, going through the rules, it gives us a sneak peek at one of the rights of war, Chagorian Brotherhood. Legion Skyhunter Squadrons and Legion Outrider Squadrons may be selected as a troop's choice in a detachment using this right of war, and such units gain the line unit subtype.
Have we seen the reference to a line unit subtype before, or is this the first time we're seeing that? I think officially this is their first time of revealing the new unit subtypes, line being one of them.
I think that's their way. It's like the inverse of what was the old rule? Support troops, like they can't count as compulsory.
No, line means like troops, like they are compulsory. They are your main core guys is what line is. But I'm just wondering, have they shown us that yet? Like, I don't think they've introduced any of these new unit subtypes until this one.
Yeah, not directly, as far as I can tell.
Right.
But and it also the two other rules here: the Legion Skyhunter squadrons and Legion Outrider squadrons may also be selected as elites choices in a detachment using this right of war, though these units do not gain the line subtype. And all models with the infantry unit type in this detachment using this right gain the outflank special rule. So you can take Skyhunter squadrons and Outriders as troops and elites. Troops get line, and infantry unit types in the detachment gain straight up outflank.
Right.
It's pretty good.
I really love, okay, maybe they haven't shown us the whole thing, but there's no negatives to this.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like all units must be on bikes, and if they're not on bikes, they must start in reserves outflanking.
Yeah, it doesn't give any crazy bonuses, but it's not super restrictive either, which is cool.
It is what I think Reds of War should be, which is special ways to build a list.
Yeah.
You know, this is just allowing you to take your bikes as troops and elites instead of just fast attacks.
So question though, if the Force Org is roughly the same, that's going to end up, it allows you to take, what would that be, 10 separate units of bikes and or jet bikes. What situation?
Hold on, you need to remember fast attack still. It does not exclude you from taking them as original fast attack.
Is true. So 13.
There we go.
Yeah.
Individual units of bike. So only the troop ones gain line. Is there going to be a foreseeable situation in which you would have to utilize all of them?
A 10,000 point game.
Maybe not, but if you want.
I guess we don't know how things are going to play out yet.
Yeah.
If this goes MSU style and you don't want to max out your squads, maybe. You know, if we start finding MSUs are more prevalent in this, and it's not like how 1.0 was, where you got bonuses for maxing out units, where things became cheaper.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Also, you can think of like different, like Zone Mortalis right now.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's like the attacker can take an elite choice as compulsory or something like that.
Good point. All right, that is an attractive option.
Yeah.
I do kind of get why they made it, because the Heresy is supposed to be like huge fields worth of Space Marines like firing back and forth at each other. So I can kind of get the idea of how they want to nudge you towards those large units.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But no, I think realistically, you'll never see 13 units of bikes, even if you did like solely bikes, right? Where you had bikes that dedicated to anti-tank and some that were dedicated to anti-elites and anti-light infantry. And I really don't think you could honestly ever see a full 13, because we're then talking like, they're going to have HQs on bikes, which then,
right.
And you'd be limiting yourself with, the javelins or that Kazagan, the White Scars specific versions.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And
damn it, I'm blanking. The Golden Keshig.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like if you took just all bikes, all 13 units of bikes, it would be very limiting. I mean, granted, you'd have a little bit of ability with multi-meltas here and there, plasma cannons and that kind of stuff. But I feel like you're then like sacrificing a lot of, like Jared just said, some of those squadrons of special speeders or something like that, or dreadnoughts even, So.
Right.
I think this is just so you can take as many as you'd want to reasonably take in any list.
Yeah.
It just gives you flexibility to do that.
That would be amazing, though, if we did a mega battle and somebody did fulfill all 13 all 13 units with that. That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You just see a huge cavalry of motorcycles going across the table.
Then you got to tell them, okay, tell me which ones are the troop, so I know which ones are line.
Paint them different, man. That's what you got. You just make it easy on yourself. Make the troops inverse of the other ones. Red where white should be and white where red should be.
Paint a stripe down their helmet.
Something, yeah.
So also
not a token. Tokens are lame, man. Like do the paint job.
Also, we have Born to the Saddle, which is a warlord trait. This warlord and all models in the same army with the Legionis Astartes White Scar special rule and the cavalry unit type ignore all the effects of difficult terrain and gain a 4-up invulnerable save against all wounds inflicted by failed dangerous terrain checks that they are called upon to make. In addition, an army whose warlord has this trait may make an additional reaction during the opposing player's movement phase as long as the warlord has not been removed as a casualty.
Hold up one second.
That's 4 up invul save against
That implies...
failed dangerous... Are you not going to be able to take armor save?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That implies that dangerous terrain now ignores your armor save.
Is it going to be like fantasy?
Oh my god.
Roll that one.
There are going to be
die?
a lot more broken ankles in the game.
Fantasy is real brutal with with failed dangerous terrain. It's just no armor, just dead.
Oh, wow.
I have taken about 50% casualties on dangerous terrain checks before.
That's wild.
That's because all of your models are 25-point horses.
Yes.
Yeah, and this makes sense. Like if you're doing 2 up, 3 up saves normally, you don't really care about that.
No.
But if you get a 4 up invul, oh shit.
That's a strong implication.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's a warlord trait. That's got to be something worth taking.
Although it is kind of interesting, though, because that used to be kind of like baked into the old Legionis Astartes white scars. Just a little bit.
Was it?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what is it? Skilled Rider?
Yeah,
Is that
skilled
one?
Lord or something.
So I'm assuming that works like all the other warlord traits while it functions when your warlord's on the table, which I kind of like, because if your warlord gets like annihilated in like, you know, a massive rain of plasma fire, chances are that's going to shake all your other bros, and they're not going to be concentrating on avoiding all those tree stumps with their motorcycles anymore.
Boss just got yeeted. Got it.
But also, I mean, I feel like if this is the case where dangerous terrain is going to like not allow saves or anything like that, that's going to make weaponry like Graviton that much better.
Oh, that's a
where
good
you're just
point.
placing templates of Graviton terrain. Like I don't care if it's still AP4 and you're getting your armor save, you're going to die as soon as you try to take a step out of the tiny black hole I just made under your feet.
Oh, and that's going to make Phosphex worse.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff. Now, this is all, like we said, this is all just implies. You know, we don't know for sure. So
wild speculation.
This is all just speculation.
I wouldn't even call this wild speculation. It's
educated guesstimate.
As you were saying it, I was thinking it.
Educated guesses.
Yeah, this is a very
that's a change.
Strong implication here.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing, I feel like everyone else has kind of had their Legion Astartes rule teased, and they didn't do that for these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They only showed 2 rule snippets.
Maybe they'll get something absolutely bonkers.
I guess, yeah. So, I mean, it does seem like, 2 rule snippets is like that's what they're drip feeding us, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 to 3,
but I'm just wondering, I guess people, when they think of scars, they really think bikes, I guess, traditionally. So they just want to show people that, hey, yeah, you can take a lot of bikes and scars. So
yeah, which is, as a scars, or I'm sure most scars players like them speeders or like them bikes.
Yeah. I imagine most scars players are just glad to not be actively crapped upon by some little predators. So,
Yeah, I think they got done real dirty. And was it book 9?
Book 8.
Yeah,
it was
book 8. Yeah, people did not walk away from that well.
Yeah. Didn't have the
I recall a lot of people being like, man, scars are in such a bad spot right now.
They just got one cool thing and then like 5 detriments.
Yeah.
And the lists are so restrictive you can't write a cohesive anything.
And then glaives got super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right, because Robbie was like, hey, Will, just try to write a list for scars. And I was like, I can easily do that. And I did like a bunch of Ebon Kashyyyk and Armored Breakthrough. And he's like, Will, you just wrote an Iron Hands list, but you painted them white. So like, I was like, oh yeah, I guess it is kind of hard to make a list that's good for this army with my limited knowledge. So
Ebon Kashyyyk are really difficult to make work when they're 1 wound each. It's nice that they have feel no pain baked in and they're stubborn, but it's like they're so expensive, like failing every one of those 2 up saves is just like a punch right in the kidneys.
Yeah.
I'm so used to using Sekhmet when they just have those nice, like chunky 2 wound pools.
Yeah, hopefully all Terminators will get 2 wounds with this. I'd like to see that brought into.
Please, dear God.
Yeah. So continuing down, speaking of Ebon Kashyyyk, like after we get past Legion lore and who the Khan is, and we see all that awesome Book of the Khan artwork, they actually go down and they show some of their awesome like custom units they have. What it is, they got the Ebon Kashyyyk, they got that little Praetor dude. Who else? What is that? What is that motorcycle with the spear on it?
That's the Golden Keshig.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the okay. Gotcha. But yeah, I like that HQ that's standing on the dead dreadnought. Is he a named character?
Chinja.
Yeah, he was a character series model.
Oh, okay. That's why he's got that cool base.
Yeah, and the Praetor's on the far left there.
Oh,
Everything
right.
goes great for him all the time.
He has 4 wounds.
Does it?
And those
'Cause
force
from
tail
my-
swords. Terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good.
But Jared, I just want to say from my experience, from my limited experience with them in the novels, is that it does not go well for the Scars ever.
What? No, that can't be right. That can't be right. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I just finished Mortis and things didn't end well for a lot of people. in that
Oh
one.
my gosh.
Scars being one of them.
That was my favorite part in Solar War, where I love so much how Jubal Khan is talking to like the trainee, and it's this big long monologue on like strike like 1,000 cuts and no singular brute force will ever overcome you. And you know how the universe loves dramatic irony. So like immediately dies from brute force. And I like Jubal Khan. Like,
Oh yeah,
he's cool as hell.
pour one out for Jubal.
Yeah. But I don't know. I like that. I like that one. It was good stuff.
I have not read Warhawk yet, but I have a feeling that they're going to focus a lot on Scars in that one.
Maybe.
Yes. Yes.
Judging by if I'm going to judge a book by the cover, then yes.
I mean, that is what a cover is for.
There's no origin story of that guy who's like actively running away from the fight, but we can hope.
There's not.
No.
He just. I don't believe you.
Yeah.
And then they did another excellent painting tutorial. I love these, man. I think I've told you before, but I'd like to just get a squad of infantry and then do one of each model from the Legion or from each Legion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some of these, and they're very good
Using these styles because they're very easy and fun.
Yeah, fairly basic for people who are just starting out who have never played Horus Heresy or probably just painted miniatures before. I think they're a pretty good introductory tutorial. Some of the schemes I'm okay with, but it's a mixed bag. Some I like better than others, but honestly, that's also personal preference. So
Sure. But I mean, also what I like, I think most about them is they are all done in an attempt of that war-torn style, I guess, or whatever Horus Heresy has, where everything looks like it's battle damage and that kind of
a
stuff.
lot more weathered,
Grimdark.
not super bright highlights on everything.
Right. But they still manage to somehow add in highlights.
They do, but a lot more
It's
subtle.
the use of those contrast paints, you know?
Yeah, I do like
They're able to do a lot more with those.
I like how they're able to like blend the two, where contrast was kind of thought like, oh, it's its own kind of separate thing, but no, they do a really good job of they're effectively glazes to some extent.
Oh, yeah. I swear, I think the more tutorials and stuff I watch, the more I keep hearing over and over and over again, it's not about hyper detail. It's about consistent, like multiple layers. Because by itself, like just a contrast paint or just an oil wash or just some chipping is going to look kind of like, You have to put so much work into it if it's like your one and only thing.
Yeah.
But when you overlay like all of those different styles on top of each other, they're all low stress, but together they end up making a really good cohesive whole.
I completely agree. So moving on then to, does anybody else have anything to say about the Scars?
No.
Nope.
Very cool. You get bikes. We like it. Now moving on to Space Wolves.
Yeah, Jared.
Route.
Or Jared or Will, or who wants to run that up real quick? I gotta pull this TV up. I gotta plug it in. But go ahead.
Well, you want to do it?
I don't
I'll
care
tackle the
about
next
the route
Legion,
at all.
whoever that might be.
Okay. So we got the rules. Starting out, first off, artwork, cool stuff. The person who painted this was Play on Tabletop YouTube channel, and he did a very light gray, the blue gray that I think they mostly do in 40K, but
He did a pretty damn good job.
Some of the darker gray, yeah.
These are
excellent use of like OSL for the power weapons and that kind of stuff. So
yeah, that's very dynamic. It's good color palette there. I'm not a huge Space Wolf fan, but he did a fine work there.
So starting out with the first rule that we've got here is Bestial Savagery. A unit made up entirely of models with the infantry unit type and the Legion Astartes Space Wolf special rule that chooses to run in the movement phase may still make a shooting attack in the shooting phase and declare a charge in the assault phase of the same turn. But any shooting attacks made in the same turn as that in which a unit with this special rule has run are made as snapshots. Units that cannot run, such as Legion Cataphractic Terminators or models that do not have the vehicle or infantry unit type, instead gain +1 weapon skill on any turn in which they successfully charge. Even if that charge is considered disordered, models with the vehicle unit type and this special rule may make ram attacks increase the strength of any hits inflicted as part of that attack by +1 to a maximum of 10. It's good stuff.
So it tells us one cool thing, which is that running is now in the movement phase rather than shooting.
Yep,
Yes.
that's exactly what I was going to say. And it also tells us that Cataphracti still can't run. So that's a bummer. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
If they are going to go super fast, like Sanic, they really should be making snapshots. So I think that's pretty solid.
You know, as a Space Wolf player, if you're doing that, I mean, you've got that much acreage to cover. You know, are those snapshots even going to be worth it if you run the risk of shooting yourself out of charge range?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Situational.
Again, we have seen things like what is it, the momentum or whatever it is, whatever your movement is, adding that to it.
Yeah.
So you know, maybe you could move pretty fast if you're running. I don't know if it's the same thing where you just add D6 to a run, and you move that, or if you do something else. But potentially, let's say maybe on an average, you're getting like maybe 10 inches of movement, and then you can make snapshots if you want. But keep in mind, if you still want to charge, you can't be doing it with like your rapid fire bolters or anything like that. You still have to do it with your pistols then, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just feel like the chance of you shooting yourself out of range of a charge, especially if it's now casualties are being taken by the controlling player, right? They would just choose to pull the front guys anyways.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Depending on who's up in
Put you
front.
out of range. There's no chance of you shooting yourself out of range. Like if they don't want to be charged, they're going to pull casualties from the front, you know?
And also one thing to keep in mind is with the advent of reactions, you're now also, by doing this, open yourself up to being shot back at in the shooting phase with the return fire reaction.
Oh, that'd be really funny.
So
Snapshot at like a heavy support squad. Just
as it stands right now, I'm thinking very two-dimensional, I guess, on this, because I'm thinking just tactical squads. And I don't think this rule does a lot for tactical squads. But if I think further into it, if I'm thinking bikes, or if I'm assuming that they're also infantry unit type and not another unit type, or if I'm thinking jump packs, I think something like this could be really good. If you're running with a jump pack, if a jump pack is already like a 12-inch movement, and then you run on top of that, that's very far. If you're making snapshots with that, you're probably already going to charge. You've already got just the pistol. I mean,
you know, look at our resident Space Wolf player, Austin. You know, he runs heavy Grey Slayers and Deathsworn are basically his bread and butter here. And I feel like that's a pretty solid statement for the Space Wolves community at large. Because why wouldn't you? You know, basically to your opponent, this is giving them one turn of shooting. Maybe not if you're badly positioned.
Yeah.
You know, you get one turn to shoot at me, and then we're in the thick of it, which is pretty damn fluffy.
It's pretty Space Wolfy.
Yeah.
Well, multiple, because
I think
go ahead.
So I was just going to say, I think the best part of this comes at the second entry. The +1 weapon skill to units that can't run or that have the vehicle, or do not have the vehicle. So like Terminators getting +1 weapon skill. We've already seen the new weapon skill chart. That's going to be huge.
Yeah. Hitting basic squads on 3s and then getting hit back on 5s.
Yeah, Dreadnoughts, definitely.
You know, if you bite the bullet and run Varagir Terminators, they're weapon skill 5 base. So you got weapon skill 6. So you're hitting
That's
everything on
twos.
3s.
That's 2s. Yeah.
Yeah, and
What is it?
basically
Actually,
everybody
to
else
hit on
is hitting
twos,
you on
you have
5s.
to double their weapon skill?
I'd have
I
to pull it up.
think so.
I think it is, yeah. So I guess still 3s, unless you're fighting Militia, whose weapon skill I think is 3. So.
Yeah, base is 3.
Oh, but God, against Mech, they're going to slaughter Mech.
Oh, man.
They will be hitting Mech on 2s for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to
It's
be
gonna be a bad
unpleasant.
day. And then I guess the +1 for a ram, I don't know. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't ram often in this edition. Maybe you do it more in the next one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just slamming into people.
Yeah.
Space Wolf
all right,
will now.
So yeah, exactly. Ooh, you know what? I mean, disembarking your infantry one turn, letting them run and shoot that turn, and then the next turn your Spartan is like, all right, time to ram. That'd be like a strength 8 hit on whatever it rams, because or actually it's 7. So then so it'd be like a strength 8 hit on whatever you ram afterwards. So yeah, who knows?
It should be 9.
Should it? Because it goes up to 8, wouldn't it? Base.
Because it's
If it's
half
14
of your armor
round it up.
value, but then +1 because it's a tank. Then plus another one for this.
Yeah, strength 9 is then solid.
Yeah, that's
a good little
decent.
hit.
Yeah, I'm going to get us back on the interstate here. But,
Oh yeah, sorry. Go.
no, you're fine. You're fine. But you want to hit the next one, Crownbreaker, Will?
Yeah, Crownbreaker. The Warlord and all models in this unit he joins gain the Preferred Enemy Independent Character special rule, whose models also gain the Feel No Pain 5-up special rule when locked in combat with one or more enemy models with the Independent Character special rule. In addition, an army whose Warlord has this trait may make an additional reaction in the opposing player's movement phase so long as the Warlord has not been removed as a casualty.
That's so damn good.
Mm-hmm. If the same rules apply, where a unit counts as having that word, independent character, for having one unit, then yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that's... I would say that's a given. That'd be such a crazy backwards change.
Right, where it only works if you were then like in combat with a single guy. That'd be weird.
Yeah.
But having it then attached to the whole squad, yeah. Very good. And that's great. Crownbreaker, I think that's a perfect in-theme rule for them. They usually go after leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Those little hunting packs that the route sent out, you know. All right, so next thing we get our look at a psychic power. And we haven't, I don't think, seen a psychic power
Does
from
Space
anybody
Wolves have
yet.
psychers?
That's what this is saying.
It depends on who you ask.
Okay.
But
Just wondered.
Yeah.
we get our powers from
It'd be
Fenris.
awfully hypocritical if they did, is all I'm going to say.
No, they just call ghost dogs to bite people. That's what they do. Or in this case, they call a storm to electrocute somebody. But that's not psychic powers.
It's the heart of Fenris.
Yeah, Stormrot
Whatever
is
the
a
hell that
psychic
is.
power. Instead of making a shooting attack, the controlling player of a psyker with this psychic power may select a single friendly unit with at least one model within 6 inches of that psyker that is composed entirely of models with the infantry, cavalry, and dreadnought unit type. I'm betting that bikes are considered cavalry, by the way.
Yeah.
Since that's the
Fair.
first time we've seen that unit type. The chosen unit gains Shrouded 5+ special rule until the beginning of the controlling player's next shooting phase. When using this psychic power, the controlling player may choose to have the psyker take a psychic check. If the check is passed, then the effect is improved to Shrouded 3-up. If the check is failed, the Shrouded 5-up special rule is applied to the target until the psyker suffers of perils of the warp. And the psyker suffers a peril of the warp, yeah. So
Interesting.
Not a psychic phase. Instead of making a shooting attack. So this is done in the shooting phase.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God.
Which ostensibly that could mean that other psychic powers are used in other phases as well.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense for them to be used in the phase that they would be beneficial towards, like they do in current Games Workshop games.
But it's interesting how you can choose to use a psychic power and then make an additional psychic check.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You can boost it even further, right? So you get the basic one if that's enough for you, good. But if you want to push your luck, I like that that's there.
Yeah. And with a Shroud of 3 up, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
With a damage mitigation. So in most cases, you'd be able to use your
So
armor
Shrouded
save.
is a damage mitigation in this edition, not
Yes.
a rule for cover, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so basically a 3-up feel no pain then is
super
pretty good.
I hope we don't just end up calling everything Feel No Pain. But
We probably will.
Probably will.
I don't think damage mitigation. I mean, we all going to know what that means, but I think even now in 9th edition, they haven't used feel no pain in 2 editions, and people still refer to it as a feel no pain save. It's just always going to be here.
mentioned
It's
on the
always going to
internet,
be that.
damage mitigation, short for damn it roll.
Yeah, I do like that. That's good.
I do like
100 years from now, coming generations will still be making feel no pain rolls.
Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, I really don't have much to say about the Hounds. I don't play them. I don't think they're interesting, and I'm sure there's going to be some people out there who don't like that. But
I think it's got some pretty cool rules. I like that. I feel like the Bestial Savagery would be pretty great for a lot of units that have special weapons and things that you really wish you can at least make a shot with, but you still need to move fast.
Mm-hmm.
that is a good point, because if you're going to have to snapshot, why not also,
Melt a support
far?
squadron. Yeah.
Yeah,
Melt a
yeah.
support squadron. Got to run up to him real quick. Maybe just get inside of melter range and hopefully fish for a few 6s to get that last shot.
I was thinking like a las cannon or missile squad, right? Like, I mean, if you had to move that squad, wouldn't you want them to at least also run
Which,
and
yeah.
get as far as they could if you had to move that unit,
Yep.
I think, okay, so there's definitely some more use to that than just assault based.
Because a run, from what I've seen here, I think it was mentioned, I've seen the reference sheet that they showed there, but running is you now just straight up add your initiative value to your movement.
So there's no randomness to it?
Correct.
Okay.
And a tactical is like 7 inches normally now, and initiative 4. So if you run, you just basically move 11 inches and not have to worry about rolling a 1 and then like, okay, I guess I'll just push a model up an inch, which
Because that's
love.
always terrible. Yeah.
And if you ever remove a Space Marine 11 inches on the table, that's scary and very fast. And I feel like it really adds to that.
And if you
Space
run,
Marine,
hardened armor a lot. I can't
wonder
believe
then,
how many times I've rolled a 1.
I wonder
and just not moved on the run
I haven't
phase.
checked. I wonder if hardened armor will have like limitations for running or something. It would kind of make a little bit of sense, but I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do deep dives on all these legions here, and I'm going to be really excited to do that.
So deep.
Delightful.
All right. Moving
Jared, I
on.
think you're taking the next one. Fist, right?
Ready for it.
So, moving ahead with the 7th Legion, I'm just going to lift a quote straight from the Warhammer community article here. It's time for the next in our series of highly unbiased assessments of each of the Legiones Astartes, and we finally arrived at the main event. Okay. So these are the Imperial Fists. First thing they've got listed here is a reaction. The best defense. Suck it, Steven. I know you're not here today, but Imperial Fist Advanced Reaction. This advanced reaction may be made once per battle during the opposing player's movement phase when an enemy unit ends a move within 10 inches and within line of sight of any model with the Legiones Astartes Imperial Fist special rule, any unit under the reactive player's control, and with that unit making the reaction. The reactive player may declare a charge for the reacting unit against the enemy unit, which triggered the reaction once that enemy unit has completed its move, and as if it were the controlling player's assault phase, with a charge distance unequal to d6 plus the lowest unmodified initiative characteristic of any model in the reacting unit and any charge modifiers the unit has. If the charge is successful, the units are locked in combat and fight in the assault phase as normal, with the charging unit benefiting from any charge bonuses, Hammer, Wrath, etc. If the charge fails, no surge move is made. So, hot damn.
You sure you want to get close to those phalanx warders?
Exactly. And
Within 10 inches?
Terminators, Templar brethren, critics of the Imperial Fist love to throw the, you hide behind your walls criticism at the mighty 7th Legion. But this reaction is so on point for the way I try to play these guys is,
Yeah.
I'm not stuck in melee with you. You're stuck in melee combat with me. That's very much how I try to play. I mean, it's they wrote this rule for me. I just love it so much.
It really is super fluffy, though, too. Like, how iconically Fist is it for, like, enemies, advancing, just laying down fire on a huge, like, Imperial Fist shield wall, only to have that shield wall, like, crack open and just, like, vomit Templar brethren, like...
Yeah.
Or we are the wall, as they like to say.
Yeah,
and that's a 10-inch range.
Instances in Siege of Terra where they do this exact
tactic. First Wall is best example I can think of. Solar War, too. I mean, it's just so perfect. And it's, D6 plus your initiative. So, everybody's initiative is going to be 4, so
5 for elites, depending on what you have, which is pretty good, actually.
It's super good.
Like, you get a free 5 on your 2d6 charge.
Yeah.
Is that how charging is going to work? Like initiative plus d6?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think it is still, I'd have to double check. But I believe it's the same, where roll 2d6. You get certain modifiers depending if you have like a faster unit.
Yeah, because I like this too, because like you were saying, it makes it a lot more certain, because you just have a flat 4 or 5 better than average plus D6, so it makes it even more solid.
Yeah. But yeah, there's just no downsides to this. It's just a wonderfully written rule.
Yeah. It's good.
Honestly. Right. And it's such a cool, a lot of the feedback we've been getting on the rules coming out of here is gun lines, the static formations, which were painfully common in the last edition, are going to be going away. Well, this is kind of a way to make things way more dynamic, because it's scary even on a attack squad. Nobody wants to get this right in the middle of your turn. It really makes your opponent question their movements a lot. But moving on, this is going to be the Imperial Fists Legiones Astartes rule, Discipline and Resolve. Models with this special rule gain a bonus of +1 to all to-hit rolls made with any auto weapons or bolt weapons as part of any shooting attack, including as part of any reactions. The awesomeness of this rule cannot be overstated.
It feels really, really painful.
It's really, really good. Last edition, or our current edition, it's, to all bolt weapons, which objectively is great. Bolters, bolt pistols, heavy bolters, quad bolters, you name it, they're getting it. It's awesome. But that gave it to +1 weapon skill. This gives +1 to hit. So it's not, your snapshots are now at BS2. It's great. And people talk about bolt weapons and then auto weapons.
Yeah, and the key to
it's
this
a huge list. It is a huge list.
Yeah. The key to hit rolls is a lot better than usually with modifiers to be ballistic skill due to other rules and things messing with ballistic skill or other, stats on a model.
Yeah. So, as Will just said, the list of auto weapons and bolt weapons is pretty long. It's a lot of it's like 50% of shooting attacks.
It's interesting how they put auto weapons in there as well.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see what that is about.
Yeah. And you got to say, okay, auto cannons, it's there's a lot of weapons that can fall under that particular purview. And
so like with bolt weapons, we know it's pretty much anything with the bolt in the name, right?
Yeah.
But auto, there's just so many things that don't have the word auto in the name, but are going to benefit from this.
If tanks and dreadnoughts are getting Legiones Astartes now, your tanks are BS5 with bolt and auto weapons, which is a pretty damn big list of stuff that's just better now. It's so much more encompassing of, look, these guys are disciplined. These guys are exacting. These are the standards they train to that are higher than the other legions. That's why we're shooting you so much better.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's really, really cool.
Definitely the shooting legion of choice now, I think. Well, I think they were always the bolter, legion of choice.
Yeah.
Because you could take like tactical squads, and with the bolter drills or whatever it was, you could effectively do a lot with 6 20-man squads.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You could take down a Primarch even.
I don't know
with
about
that many bolters. Yeah, that many bolters doing Fury of the Legion. Yeah, you could.
But no, it's so fluffy. It's just really beautiful, and it fits. It's an inducement for Fist players to maybe make that Armored Breakthrough list you've been thinking about. Maybe make that Fury of the Ancients list you've been thinking about.
Maybe just do something other than Stone Gauntlet.
I do so many more other things than Stone Gauntlets.
Exactly. That's fine. You do, but I don't think many other Fist players do.
So jumping in,
sure.
Today, a lot of people who had gotten the starter kit earlier on.
Yeah,
I guess the NDA had finally closed, so they were showing quite a bit from the actual box, and we'll get into this a little bit later. But looking at the starter army list, the Land Raider Spartan does have Legionis Astartes.
Mm-hmm. Lovely.
So.
Yes.
Yeah. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
So excited.
But yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, that's going
to be so good when we get to Iron Hands. I'll tell you why.
Oh, well, yeah, that's the thing. That's actually what I was getting at. Is it's an inducement for 7th Legion players to bring more tanks and bring more dreadnoughts. And what are 4th Legion players good at is shooting at tanks and dreadnoughts.
Yeah. And then when we get to the Rite of War, the Templar Assault, I hear a lot of people complain about Templars, but I think that this is going to be pretty solid for them.
Yes. So, Rite of War Templar Assault. Units of Templar Brethren may be taken as troop choices in a detachment using this Rite of War. All models in a Templar Brethren unit taken as part of this detachment using this Rite of War gain the Heart of the Legion special rule and the Line unit subtype. For the duration of any turn in which a unit of Templar Brethren taken as part of this detachment using this Rite of War disembark from a model, all models in the disembarking unit gain Rage 2 special rule. Huh? This does not apply to any of the units if it has made an emergency disembarkation.
Makes sense.
So, this is harkening back
Land
to
Raiders. Land Raiders full of Templars.
Yeah. That's what people are going to run, and you'd be crazy not to. But this is harkening back to, I say back, but it's 40K. A lot of the special Black Templars stuff related to even like the old Apocalypse editions, related to large Land Raider formations of the Land Raider Crusaders. This is the prototype for that.
Yeah.
So Templar Brethren doing some...
Wouldn't that be crazy if we saw like flamethrowers on Land Raiders this edition too?
No.
And then you could basically run the Redeemer, like a dumbed down version of the Redeemer, maybe.
Goodness.
That'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
I also really like how they are adding more scaling to the special rules like Rage. Rage used to be just a flat 1. Rage, parentheses 2.
Rage 2.
Going to see more on special rules with flexibility as far as how lethal those special rules are is really exciting.
So, doing some math here, Templars have 2 attack space. They all come with a pistol, either plasma or bolt, which don't play for a plasma pistol. What's wrong with you? So you got 3 attacks there.
Excuse me?
I said what I said. 4 on a charge and then an extra 2. So you got 6 attacks per guy.
Now hold on. Have we seen any changes to shields? Are they still going to get the bonus for having the shield, like the 2 close combat weapons for having the shield?
So unless they get some crazy, they don't have storm shields. They don't have boarding shields. They're just combat shields.
And they're specifically modeled with the pistols in their hands. So that'd be weird if they didn't, right?
Yeah. No, there's no way they're giving them non-combat shields at this point. That would be nuts. Especially, they're small shields. They're bucklers, basically. Okay. I can't imagine them changing that. So, enjoy your 6 attacks.
Yeah.
Just 60 dice.
Oh, you know what, though? It's not just Land Raiders. Like, oh, man, if they brought the Ram into plastic, wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, yeah.
Just a bunch of rams coming in,
The ram,
smashing through.
Storm Eagle.
Mm-hmm.
What other assault vehicles do we have?
Mastodon.
Termite is, but I don't know if that's.
Oh my God! You could have Templars assault from a fortress, like a mobile.
Yes.
Solid.
Oh man, 40 guys coming out of a Mastodon
Is unnecessary.
I'm like looking over at I know our listeners can't see it, but I'm looking at Jesse's shelf and there's a Mastodon directly in front of me that's painted.
Here's the other thing
dark
I'm wondering,
colors.
right? Where Rite of War, you disembark from a model. If buildings are still treated the same as they are currently, and then you put all your Templars into your Castellan stronghold that you have, Jared, and then you just wait for people to come to you, and you literally just hide in your fortress until the last minute when you're like, aha! And you just come out chopping, you know?
Surprise!
The best defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question. It is, I don't imagine you could disembark and then declare that charge using that reaction. that would be kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
That would be a little cheap.
Man, I do love these army shots down there at the bottom. They got that new Praetor there with some cataphracting. They threw in some Mark III.
Dude,
and then a little saber.
Props to the guy. Hold on. I just... painted by Richard Gray. He painted the Dorn for this. My God. Oh, that paint job. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, insane gold.
The gold,
Insane.
the purple is like luscious. He's got the filigree on the inside of the cape. That's all freehand. That's not modeled on there at all. It's an absolute madman. Respect.
It looks juicy.
It does. It does.
All right. So, do we have anything else for Fist then?
Real quick, acknowledge, because as we discussed this in our chat today, the Praetor holding the Volkite charger and the sword raised up. Apparently, I was asking this. Apparently, he took it's a Space Wolf's helmet head and green stuffed a beard onto it. But it's like a chin, Civil War
you're
style.
talking about SN Battle Report? I thought that was a Primaris head with green stuff.
That's a Primaris head. Thank you.
Right. It's that Mohawk one, right?
No, the
one who traditionally has the Mohawk.
He's got the this 18th century era.
Right.
This guy eats his beef and split pea soup at the pub.
Rules a small English town with an iron fist.
Yeah.
Or Imperial Fist, I guess.
Yeah. No, it's so damn good. They did a wonderful job with these guys.
Moving on to the 8th.
If we must.
Yep.
I'm excited about this one.
Go for it, Jason.
So, a couple of things I'm super excited about. First, I love that they open with the version of Kurz's artwork from the front of his Primarch novel that I swear would be the anime mock-up for his Tinder profile. It's terrific. I love it so much.
Kurz is your waifu, is what you're saying?
Because it came out contrasted next to that, what was it, Knights of Caliban, where he's fighting Lionel?
Yeah, Angels of Caliban.
Yeah, that's the one.
That wasn't a good look for anybody.
No, it looked like they were trying to do a hyper-realistic version of Metalocalypse makeup. Yeah. Which, I don't know, it was different. I don't hate it, but it was different. I love this Bishonen version. Mm-hmm. It's great. But on to more potent stuff. First off, the Kurz they have, the model was painted by Ninjon from the YouTube fame. I really like how he does this sort of dull bronzy gold.
Yeah.
It's almost like the blue, the midnight blue, is more reflective than the metallic bronze gold color. That's pretty neat. I like that.
It's an interesting contrast. Yep.
Yeah.
And great job on the base, too. Yeah.
That's so good.
That is a terrific base. Now, the Night Lords painted by Tabletop Titans, they're good. I think they're a little bright. They come off more like Crimson Fists to me initially.
A little bit.
I don't dislike it, but it's definitely different. It's got a very... I don't know. Very interesting feel to it. Another question I wanted to ask while we're all here. How do you guys feel about bolters that are like one solid metallic color? Like the bolter casing is the same metallic colors like the barrel and magazine.
I've done it before, just because, but I've only done it on Iron Hands. I think for every other time I've painted them, I do them all. The bolter case usually is in black. It's my preferred bolter case color.
Got it.
I do it for Iron Hands just because it adds more color than black.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Dark Angels. Like I got to get some sort of color on there or else it all just kind of blends in. I haven't done a full, I guess I could do a full metallic, but the red casing's always been kind of a classic for Dark Angels.
Yeah, I think that
40K
that's
and 30K.
very, yeah.
So
No, I dig it.
I recently have been trying a blue bolter case, and the last experiment I did for my upcoming Iron Hands, I did a blue bolter case and blue lenses and that kind of stuff. And I think the blue is very unique. You never see that, and it is a way to get some color in there. But no, I mean, like I said, I've done it before. I think it's okay. On a unit like this that's all blue, I think black would have been fine.
I enjoy how
But we
all
also
of the
have to remember,
praetors and
guys,
sergeants are marked for death.
Yes, yeah. We also have to remember, though, that they only had like 2 weeks, I think, to paint all this stuff up. So if they're doing all silver bolter cases,
they didn't have
I
a lot
can
of
understand
time.
that.
They didn't have a lot of time. I know that.
The one thing I didn't get, though, is I don't see a single red gauntlet. I only see red helms.
Yeah. What does the red gauntlet signify? That they are supposed to die at some point, but they're needed to stay alive?
Yeah, that they're basically living on borrowed time until Kurz is done with them.
Well, clearly none of these guys are living on borrowed time. I mean, that Dreadnought certainly is, having already died once.
They're
but
all living
I guess
on
they
borrowed
just forgot
really.
to.
The only thing,
Yeah.
I like these guys overall. The only thing I think they should have done something a little bit different with that Praetor with the big giant axe, because the axe looks like it kind of against a white background, it looks blown out, and it looks like it was just airbrush spot highlighted super quickly as an afterthought.
I was admiring that OSL and thought it was really good.
Yeah.
It's like too bright.
Well, it's also with the white background. It's kind of
Yeah.
I feel like that also might lend to the brightness overall of the army.
I imagine just in like a ZM setting, that thing flaring up in the corner.
Yeah. There.
You're like,
Darth Vader's red lightsaber.
it's mag light in the face.
I feel like they did
I
it a
do
lot
also
better.
like these bases.
Kind of like the
just a
broken
real quick point out.
statuary.
Yeah. The bases are simple in choice. I do like
I
those.
think the bases, they're basically just gridded out plastic card with some debris filled around them. And I think that's
great.
Yeah, it's very simple. And I think it works with any urban environment that you want to put these guys in.
It's very effective. I like it.
Yeah.
That does look excellent.
I might yoink that style there.
Yeah.
Because you can buy plastic
rules?
card checked out like that. So
Yeah, you absolutely can. Yeah. And all you got to do then is just put it on and kind of cut and chip in places. And then bam, there you go.
All right. But let's talk about some rules, because Talent for Murder is different, but still pretty great.
Better. It's better.
It's pretty solidly better. Now, I will say right out of the gate, it's only a bonus to wound now. The bonus to hit is gone. But, so let's see. When a unit made up entirely of bundles with this rule fights during the subphase or makes a shooting attack, big point, against an enemy unit that's pinned, falling back, or outnumbered by the attacking unit, it gains a bonus of +1 to all to wound or armor penetration rolls made during the shooting attack or assault. That is terrific.
yeah,
It is so good.
This is saying, now, hold on. Maybe I'm reading this incorrectly. Okay. Unit made entirely of the special rule attacks during the fight subphase or makes a shooting attack against an enemy that is pinned, falling back, or outnumbered by the attacking unit. So does that mean that this is always on in the subphase for fighting, but in the shooting phase for it to be turned on, you have to be pinned, falling back, or outnumbered?
Yes.
Yes.
So when they're in combat, they are +1 to wound all the time, regardless of if they outnumbered the unit, is what I'm saying, right?
Negative. I think you still have to outnumber when you're in combat. But
I guess it would require a comma after or for that to, or before or?
No, I see what you're saying, Will.
When he
yeah.
made it with
In the fight
attacks during the.
subjects.
Oh, okay.
Or
I see what you mean.
makes a shooting attack against an enemy unit that is pinned, falling back, or outnumbered.
Okay, that's a good point. The way it's set up, yeah,
Damn.
I think your interpretation is correct.
That's so much better. My goodness.
Wow. Okay, because I was just thinking of like how great it is to have like a shooting attack. Like how Night Lords is it to surround a small unit and just like bolter them into meat mush. Like that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
But it's
especially with bulky units too that you have.
Ooh, yeah.
Bikes now. I mean, if they're still bulky, absolutely. Like a 10-man squad of bikes is going to outnumber any other 10-man squad of bikes.
Or the guys falling back.
Yeah,
you thought you were going to.
Models with that bulky, X special rule count as a number of models equal to the value included. So models with the vehicle unit subtype count as 10 for the purposes of determining if it's outnumbered. So that's pretty great for like heavy support squads, for bikes.
If you run a Predator squadron of 3 Predators, that's 30. That counts as 30 models all the time.
It does indeed.
Oh my god!
Again, very Night Lordy to fight unfair,
unpleasant.
Yeah.
That is delightful. It's going to be so much more to remember initially, but so good.
Yeah. That's really solid.
I wonder if pinning is going to be more prevalent, if we're going to see a lot more weapons with pinning.
I think so.
We definitely will.
It just combines with fear, like so prevalent in the Night Lords list, and then pinning, and then getting bonuses against units that are pinned. I mean, it's this terrific, like, it's definitely going to be like this cascade effect, right? Like, as soon as something gets pinned, it just gets annihilated.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's so
it'll
terrific.
Be pinned. Once it gets hit, it'll get pinned. And then once it's pinned, you'll lose models. So you're going to be outnumbered. And once you start losing enough, you're going to fall back. And it's just going to, absolutely. Just keep adding that +1, baby.
And speaking of which, let's talk about some of these
armor pin rolls too, which means that's super good.
So, effectively +1 strength.
Yeah, like
to all your weapons.
Right?
Yeah.
11 dudes in your tactical squad. Suddenly you can, gun down like rhinos from behind.
Jeez, yes. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool.
That's so much better against like super heavies.
Oh yeah, and dreadnoughts. That makes so much sense, though.
Oh man,
it's just like 6 Terminators now can pick apart a dreadnought pretty comparatively easily. And it makes sense, right? It's like wolves taking down like a bison or something. And it's perfect for the Night Lords. But talking about some of this good close combat stuff, let's talk about some of these revamps and glow-ups some of their close combat weapons have gotten. Like the basic chain blade. I think this is the sort of big chunky chainsword the Contakar Terminators come with.
I thought that was the chain glaive. Maybe not. Maybe. Oh, you know what?
There's
chain
a couple
blade
now.
That sounds.
So the chain glaive is the big 2-handed one. The chain blade.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. That one has the 2-handed rule. Okay.
It's pretty great just by itself because it's +1 strength, AP3, shred, and breaching, which I have learned is like little mini rending.
Yes.
And that's great because, I mean, shred and breaching paired together, it's like a double shot at getting that AP2 of 6+.
You're right, because you can still re-roll even if you already wounded. You can fish for that 6, right?
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And then the chain glaive is just flat better now.
Yep. +2 strength. That's always excellent to see.
Wasn't it +1 strength previous?
It was.
Okay.
I think so, yeah. And then this Headman axe.
Oh.
This is why I've been searching for a 2-handed axe for my Raptor squad. Because I really want to add a Headman's axe to my Raptor squad.
Oh, yeah.
After seeing this, I was like, I got to get one of those.
A strength ×2 weapon that is not unwieldy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has shred, and it has that... I feel like all the Night Lord's weapons have that very flavorful pair-up of shred and breaching. And that's really nice.
Yeah, just trying to get that 6 as hard as they can.
Right. I did one.
They're like, I will not fight fair. I refuse to. I will take any advantage I can.
What's that Chaos Marine from the 40K line that has the big giant axe?
Yeah, I've been trying to source that. That's from the Kill Team.
Executioner or something? Oh, no.
The Kill Team currently isn't on sale off the shelf yet. You have to buy it in a box set still.
Got it.
So I'm still waiting.
Yeah, that's the one I used for my, what's a Huntmaster for the Raptors? That's the one I used for my Raptor Huntmaster.
That's exactly what I was going to do.
Perfection. It works great. Great minds,
I think it does. Yeah. Very good, very big, and it just looks like it would be a headsman's axe.
It's apropos. So, their special warlord trait, while we're on being a terrifying badass, the warlord with this trait gains Fear 1 special rule, and each time that warlord is part of a combat that results in all enemy units being destroyed by having their models removed as casualties or as a sweeping advance, or that is part of a challenge in which the enemy combatant is removed as a casualty, it increases the value of that special rule by +1 up to a maximum of Fear 3. So now it's an even worse idea to try and feed a sergeant to the Night Lord's character to keep him from just hacking through everybody else right off the bat.
I didn't even think of that. Oh, no.
Because you're really not going to want to do it as much anymore because your fear just makes him stronger.
Oh, my gosh. That's right, man.
And can you, just fear by itself is pretty great because it's like this bubble effect of negative to leadership. Can you imagine how, overwhelmingly bad a fear of -3 is going to be?
Yeah. And that's to say, we don't know if it stacks with other. Well, no, that wouldn't make sense, right? If you have 2 units that cause fear and they come together and they both cause Fear 1, they don't come together and make a bubble of Fear 2.
Probably not.
No, that would be
bonkers.
Insane. Yeah. But regardless, having a warlord at Fear 3 in a bubble like that is going to be pretty great.
Yeah. Because your leadership on your squad's going to be lower because that Night Lord character just mulched your sergeant. Now you're working off basic tactical leadership, and now it's at a big negative because he's already got a bumped up fear rating.
And again, with the catastrophic failures where you lose your sergeant, now your fear is further down, and then you're like, well, all right, I'll go in with my Praetor. Let's say your Praetor fails that too, or your Centurion, your Centurion fails that. Now they're at Fear 2, or I guess Fear 3 in that case. And now you start failing leadership, and you get swept. And then it's just you just keep feeding him at that point,
Oh, right. Especially, too, because if fear's that bubble, it's going to make pinning and other leadership checks around your warlord even more likely to fail now.
Let's say you get away. Well, guess what? Now, talent for murder procs on the shooting attack that you ran from. So, I really like the synergy in this list, or these rules that we see. Yeah. They all feel like they're given to one another.
It's good times for Night Lords.
Yeah, I'm excited. My little Zone Mortalis force, I think, is going to be pretty fun. We'll see. All right. Who wants to cover Blood Angels then?
I'm just going to use the bathroom. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'll take care of the Blood Angels. Yeah. So, Blood Angels Legion, we got Sanguinius. We have a sweet, bright race car red army done by, let's see, Siege Studios.
Siege Studios. I see them on Instagram a lot.
Yeah.
They do some really good armies. I like following their stuff.
James Otero and Ed Sanderson.
I really like the red they went for here. It's got that 90s Blood Angel nostalgia vibe.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That candy red, right?
Yeah.
Well, not really a candy coat, but it's got
the race car red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really like the Terminators with their red and black. The black highlights, And the Spartan back there looks really good. I wish I can get a little closer look at that, the side there, but really nice. And they threw Sanguinius in there too, so cool.
Yeah.
So, for the Blood Angels, looks like their Legion rule, End Carmine Fury. All models with the Legionis Astartes, Blood Angels special rule, require 1 lower result to wound than they would normally, to a minimum of 2 up, on any turn in which they are part of a successful charge against an enemy unit, even if that charge is counted as disordered. This effect applies regardless of the weapon they are using. For example, if using a Strength 4 melee weapon and attacking a target with a Toughness of 4, the Blood Angel will require a 3 up to wound rather than the usual 4 up. In addition, any vehicle with a Legionis Astartes Blood Angel special rule that makes a ram attack increases the strength of any hits by 1 to a maximum of strength 10.
So
now this is kind of interesting the way they word this. So they need 1 lower result to wound than they would normally, to a minimum of 2 up. Isn't that effectively like the Night Lords with... I don't know. Why would they have it 1 less required to wound, 1 lower result to wound than they normally would, as opposed to a +1 to wound?
So
help me out here, because
I don't know. Effectively, I can't think of anything in which it would change. But I mean, the big difference is this is only when they successfully charge.
Yeah.
Which is a huge change.
Right, but I mean, Jesse makes a good point. Why wouldn't they just say add +1 to wound when they charge? Why? What? In what? That's a very good question. In what situation would adding 1 lower result to wound than they normally would be better than +1 to the wound?
Maybe. It mentions this effect applies regardless of the weapon they're using. So let's say you're fighting, let's say, just for shits and giggles, toughness 10 creature, and you have a strength 4 weapon. It would still work out that way, you know.
I guess what you're saying is, in that case, you normally wouldn't be able to wound it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Would you then just get a 6? I don't know. That's very weird. Maybe there's a piece to a bigger picture we're not seeing.
Yeah, we'll have to read the full rules to really see if there's any difference there. Scratching my heads on that one, though. But also the ram attack increases strength of hits inflicted by +1 to a maximum of 10, so similar to the Space Wolves.
Demolition
that's exactly
Derby champions, just like the Space Wolves.
Man, it's unless there's something here significant that I'm missing as part of the mechanics, it doesn't seem as effective as the Night Lords by...
No, definitely not.
I'm not sure how to feel about that.
Because this is just when you charge, as opposed to all the time. Successfully charge, right.
I need to think on that one.
Yeah, because it used to be just flat +1 to wound all the time, every day of the week.
Yeah. I'll have to think about that one.
We'll think on
like I said, the wording is different, changed up a little bit than just +1 to wound, so I don't have to do some investigation on that one. That being said, they also have Inferno Pistols, which is one of the war gear they have. Any model with a Legionis Astartes Blood Angel special rule may exchange a Plasma Pistol for an Inferno Pistol for no additional cost. So, Strength 6, Strength 8 AP1, Pistol 1, Armor Bane, Melta.
Is there any point where an Inferno Pistol is not just going to be better than a Plasma Pistol?
If you really need that 12-inch range.
Yeah, longer range.
And,
yeah.
Have they always had the Inferno Pistol?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wondering why. I feel like I didn't see many more tats running around with Inferno Pistol.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're more
pretty cool, right?
Stupid fun.
You still got deep striking that 6-inch range, though.
Yeah.
That 6-inch range.
Okay.
I mean, you're almost base to base.
Yeah, it's tight.
So here's the other thing. If Melta still works the same, and you have to be at half range, you'll be at 3 inches before you activate Melta.
But this thing has Armor Bane.
Yeah, it's
the weapon has
Armor Bane Melta.
Right.
So I'm wondering if Melta still works the same, where you have to be in half range for it to trigger.
It feels redundant unless Melta is going to morph into something totally different than what it is now.
Well, because it says it's counted as Melta weapons for the rules that affect such weapons. So I'm guessing they use that as like a catch-all. So like the Armor Bane is a component of Melta at half range. And also there are things like what's that salamander rite of war that like gives an invulnerable specifically to melt the weapons? Almost like a little mini keyword sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to dig deeper here.
Okay. 2 for later thought.
Yeah. And I
That's
think
it.
those are the 2 rules that they give us for the Dark Angels, or excuse me, the Blood Angels.
Oh gosh, you just made
well,
everyone in the night.
Party foul.
Well, what are you going to do?
Blood Angels are better.
Yeah,
No, wait.
I don't know.
but
I actually meant to say Dark Angels are better.
Double party foul.
Yeah, I party fouled myself there.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I'm going to have to look at, hopefully their special units kind of come through for these guys, because
yeah.
It's a little underwhelming.
So, listeners, if you can think of any reason why they would word it in this way, like when would having 1 lower result to wound than you normally would be better than a +1 to wound? Like they sound like the exact same, just worded differently.
There's got to be a reason, and it's going to bother me until we figure it out.
Yeah.
But
It's
they also get the
wild and
+1 to
infuriating.
attack, or +1 to strength of hits with vehicles when ramming.
Yeah, I mean that's. I think that's literally a copy paste from the Space Wolf one, like you said. So
Yeah. Now this.
I don't know.
Yeah. So the strength of hits, depending on what they have, I have to look. Hopefully, they'll come out with these full official rules.
Their tanks
Soon.
are bloodthirsty.
Well, I was also they also have Legiones Astartes, but
Are their tanks drinking blood?
Yes.
yeah, you charge
Blood
with your
in the
tank.
engine?
Yeah, if they run out of gas, they can, pour a pint or 2 into the gas tank, get that running.
Wait, hang on. What's that wacky artifact that you apply to a tank that allows it to like steal hull points from
Oh
squads?
yeah,
Oh,
it just
I think-
eats people. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's
It eats
called.
people to repair it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's it. All right, you guys have anything else on Blood Angels then?
No, I think that was the last
No.
Legion.
I think you're right. We're just gonna skip the other one we have.
Let's not lose our heads here.
Okay, you know what? Literally every post has been about Ferris Manus losing his head. That's all I see every time. People are like, "Hey guys, there's no time to lose your head. Come check out these rules."
As a
Yeah.
Dark Angels player, I actually feel sorry for you,
Yeah,
Right?
because I think
mean-
you get at this point, you guys get it worse than I do.
Beating the ghost of the thought of the shadow of a dead horse at this point.
yeah. So we, of course, got Iron Hands. My bespoke Legion with Ferris Manus artwork. It's awesome artwork where he's just charging headstrong, and he's got his big old forge breaker before it was corrupted, and it's got his 10th icon on there. Very good artwork. I love this stuff.
He angry.
And we got the army painted by Hellstorm Wargaming. If you guys haven't seen the guy's channel there, it's really fun stuff. He does a lot of really cool conversions and that sort of stuff, and paint jobs.
I really like how
and
they
I
did.
think he did. Go ahead.
Oh, so I was going to say, like, the sort of OSL for the really bright blue here, I really like how that looks as compared to, like, this pretty much the same effect for the Night Lords. It really pops here from, like, that dark, like, bronze and metallic black.
Absolutely. Yes. I really liked what he's done here with these guys. They look great, I think. The lightning claws on the Terminators back there. OSL's done great. Both Praetors excellently done. Really good black. I like it all around. And the Martian base is solid stuff.
It is.
What I appreciate is being able to look at this and know that, oh yeah, it's an Iron Hands army, as opposed to, is it Raven Guard, Dark Angels, or Iron Hands?
Oh,
'Cause,
yes.
good
You're
God,
absolutely right. Yeah.
that can be tough sometimes.
It's black, but it's definitely distinguishable from other blacks that we've seen in the preview so far.
For sure.
So we have the Medusan scales, and this is pretty much in violent armor as it was previously. So all shooting attacks made against a unit with this special rule that does not have the vehicle unit type suffer -1 to the strength of that attack. We are going to note here, previously in violet armor said this does not affect the unit instant death threshold. So if you got hit with a strength 8 weapon, at least I think that's the way it was, right? If you got hit with a strength 8 weapon,
Yeah, even though
it
it's
would still
called,
instant death you.
yeah,
it would still be -7, but it would still instant death you because of the fact it was twice your strength still, because it didn't affect the instant death threshold.
Yeah, but looks like that is no longer the case.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is pretty dope for you.
Which, I mean, a lot of the other legions that have +1 to wound, this I think is going to
Mitigate that.
damper them, like shut them off in a way. Now it's not +1. I mean, it's -1 to strength of the attack.
Yeah. Plus, your Terminators would be a lot happier with that too.
Absolutely, yeah. And then models with this special rule and the vehicle unit type instead gain "It Will Not Die" 6-up special rule, or if such models already have a variant of "It Will Not Die" X special rule, then the value of that special rule is increased by +1. For example, a model with the vehicle unit type that already has "It Will Not Die" 6-up Legion Astartes Iron Hand special rule would instead get "It Will Not Die" 5-up special rule.
That's pretty cool.
So
Hopefully, Blessed Auto Simulacra is still a thing in 2.0.
From the previews that I've seen, it is, and it increases your "It Will Not Die" by +1.
That's badass.
Cool.
So by having Medusan scales and then paying your 10 points for your auto simulacra, you're getting a "Feel Not" or a "Will Not Die" on 5+.
Super good.
It is, yeah. So much better, because I can tell you every time I bought auto simulacra throughout the nearly 7-8 years I've been playing the game, I have never passed an auto simulacra roll for my Iron Hands. Never. I passed it once in my Mechanicum on a Lightning, and that was amazing. But that was the only time it ever happened. Silver Iron Will is the Warlord trait. A Warlord with this trait and all models in any unit he has joined are never affected by the special rules or effects that lower a characteristic, including Fear, Radphage special rule, or due to losing an assault where the enemy has inflicted more wounds. In addition, an army whose Warlord has this trait may not make reactions during the movement phase, but may make an additional reaction in either the opposing player's shooting phase or assault phase, not both. If a Warlord is removed as a casualty, then this additional reaction is lost, but the army may make reactions in the movement phase as normal if the appropriate phase after the Warlord has been removed from the casualty. That is anything that affects characteristics. This is like a super cyber familiar.
Blind.
Yeah. Radphage, like you can't lower their toughness now.
Yeah, rad grenades. Forget about it.
Wowzers.
Yeah, that is so fluffy and good and just...
Right, because, I mean, his close command squad is going to be so modified by that point. What are you going to irradiate?
Yeah.
They literally just have brains in buckets at that point.
Irradiate my glorious iron balls.
Yeah. And then, of course, we got some awesome artwork here. Ferris forging that sword that he gave to Fulgrim that later would be his downfall.
Should not have put so much work into it.
Nope. We should have made a couple errors in it. And then, man, I love this army they have painted down here in Mark III. So good. Little graviton cannons, rapiers in the back.
Oh, yeah. Those little dudes.
Yeah. And I really like the paint scheme that they have, the quick, easy paint scheme here. Mm-hmm. I have actually, right before coming on to record this, I did up a test model in this scheme, and I really enjoyed it. So I don't know. I might actually.
When I watched this video, I felt like it could use a little bit darker shade. Like I know
it does. The silver is still very silver with the gray sear, or not the gray sear, the
basilicum gray. I think
the gray contrast over it. It's still noticeably silver. But I feel like it's more. If you'd have put more browns on there, I think it could have easily been construed for Iron Warriors, you know?
Yeah, I'm thinking...
Or misconstrued as Iron Warriors.
I'm thinking if I were to do this, after putting the basilicum gray on, maybe going back with a glossy Nuln oil.
To kind of give it that glossy...
Yeah, because I've always in my head, the Iron Hands always kind of had kind of like a reflective black.
Yeah, like a oil slick sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking a glossy Nuln oil might be just enough to get it right to that darkness that I kind of was looking for. But
nice silky shadows.
Yeah.
Will, I just had a thought, and I need you to make this army for me, okay?
An army of it?
Yes.
On a thought? Okay, go ahead. What is it?
So if Dreadnoughts get Legiones Astartes, run Company of Bitter Iron with a Dreadnought heavy list, maybe a, what are they called? The Dreadnought Mortificator.
Okay.
But your Dreadnought's having hatred.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Just get out of here.
That would be pretty good.
That'd be so baller. And with a Mortificator,
what I
it
would
will
love
not
to do,
die or
what I would love to do is make the Mortifactor the Warlord, but I would have to bring somebody who has Master of the Legion for that, and they would have to be Warlord.
Bring in Delegatus.
Hold up one sec.
They still have to be Warlord, though, right?
Do they?
Because my thing would then be to give Silver Iron Will to the Mortifactor, and thus his unit would have Silver Iron Will, which would be amazing, right?
Yes.
That on top of the negative shooting strength. Look.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Will.
Get out of here. My rope, me and my friends don't like it when you come here. Yeah.
And that's going to wrap it up for us tonight on the Remembrancers Retreat. Thanks again for listening. If you like us, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at RR30K Podcast. You can go over to rr30k.com and you'll find a list of all our episodes as well as some homebrew content such as the Battlefleet Heresy Compendium. You also follow our YouTube channel, where hopefully here in the near future I'll be posting some video content for you all to enjoy. And if you'd like to support our program, be sure to go over to patreon.com/RR30K Podcast and become a patron today. And as always, we'd like to thank all our patrons, starting with our Legion Praetor tier, Alex Self, Chaplainasar, Chris Mack, Gardner.Tree of Woe, Joe from Music City Heresy, Kevin, Luke Rizzuto, Matthew Boyce, Michael Tisdall, Mr. Baldwick, Nick Quenga, Marina the Floof, Sarah Luther, Taco Tuesday or Bus 22 Rock and Roll McDonald's, and What's Ligma. Our Legion Centurions, Aaron Maynard, Andrew N., Dave Jones, Duncan, Ed, M. Tanzer, Gorecrow, Nick Hilda, Richard Bork, Scott LeMay, and Void Imperatrix. And finally, our Legion Sergeants, Agrippina, Aircraft Terrier, Emily O'Hare, Garrett Lowe, Jay DeSales, Jay Grammaticus, Jonathan Crane, Carl, Nick Gillen, Noah Atkins, The Zoe, and Travis Smith. Once again, thank you all for your support. We greatly appreciate it. And until next time, this is Jesse. Keep those dice rolling, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.